All right, we've talked a lot about Survivor Series. We've talked a lot about the current state of WWE. But today, since it's Thanksgiving in America, let's do something different. Let's do something fun. Let's fill out this bracket and see who I think the greatest of all time is. Before we get into it, though, make sure to hit that button, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Come, follow, have some fun with us. We're having a lot of fun on this channel. We've posted a lot of videos, so come check them out, have some fun with us. Anyway, now let's talk wrestling. All right, so this is something called fight brackets, or I guess it's called bracket fights. My bad. Never been on the site before. I was looking for some fun WWE based brackets. I clicked into this. I saw a quiz called, I think it was Greatest Wrestler of All Time. I'm going to fill this out. Learn a little bit about what kind of wrestling I like. We're going to have some fun today. Something different, like I said. All right, so we're going to jump right into this. We've shuffled the bracket. We're starting from a fresh bracket because I did see some matchups on the side, and you know what? I want to come at this with fresh eyes. Again, I've never used this website before, so let's see what happens, right? All right. So first off, we got Terry Funk against The Miz. Listen, I like The Miz. The Miz is fun. I think The Miz doesn't get enough credit sometimes. I think The Miz is going to be one of those wrestlers that when he's gone, we're going to be like, we didn't appreciate him for what he was. However, Terry Funk is one of those wrestlers that help build a pathway, right? I didn't see a lot of Terry Funk just because he is, you know, before my time. Chainsaw Charlie is pretty much all I saw Terry Funk, a little bit of ECW here and there, but Chainsaw Charlie in the WWE in the early 90s is probably where I got most of my Terry Funk uh, knowledge from. I think Terry Funk is just a very important person to the world of wrestling. That's not always going to matter in this bracket, as I think I know who will probably show up at some point. But he's very important in terms of wrestling. This guy wrestled almost to the day he died, and I think Terry Funk. I think the Miz would agree that Terry Funk is just definitely gonna win this battle. All right, we got the Undertaker against Arn Anderson. Um, yeah, it's gonna be the Undertaker 100% of the time, right? Arn Anderson is part of the Four Horsemen. I almost forgot the name. I'm sorry. Arn Anderson is part of one of the Four Horsemen. Obviously, he's important to the world of wrestling, but the Undertaker is just the Undertaker, right? Like, I think in modern era, he is the most important person in wrestling. He just is, as much as a person, he's hit or miss with me, but he is the most important person in wrestling in modern era, and I think I think hands down, Undertaker takes this one. Enough said. Ooh, we got Jimmy, Jimmy, the Dragon Steamboat. I was thinking Jimmy Super Fly Snuka. Ricky, the Dragon Steamboat, against Kofi Kingston. I love Kofi Kingston, especially considering, you know, tag team tag team prowess. Kofi Kingston as part of the best tag team of all time, I think, in the New Day. Former world champion, just a great superstar. Again, someone that we're definitely going to miss when he's gone. Uh, I'd say super underappreciated. That whole Kofi Mania thing was amazing. That's when I started to get back into wrestling, was during that whole Kofi Mania thing. So I really appreciated that. I remember back when he had a Jamaican accent. That was interesting. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, someone that's really before my time. Obviously, I've seen the ladder match between him and Macho Man. Fun match. Was it a ladder match? No, but anyway, that intercontinental. I don't know why I said ladder match, but that intercontinental championship match between Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Macho Man. Great match, obviously, but more than that, I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So I'm going with Kofi Kingston. Ooh, we got Finn Balor against RVD. Ooh, that's a good one. I like Finn Balor. I think Finn Balor he deserves better than what he's currently getting in the WWE. He deserves a bigger push than what he's getting in the WWE. I think this guy is super talented. He is an amazing wrestler. He's amazing on mic. His character work is great. RVD, man, as a big Attitude Era guy, I loved RVD. I loved RVD in ECW. Right, RVD. His frog splash is just unmatched. Honestly, this is probably the hardest one for me to pick between right now so far. I think simply because of how Finn Balor is currently being treated by the WWE, right? Just getting pinned left and right, not getting that singles push that he deserves. Maybe later in his career, if he gets a better singles push, I would go Finn Balor. But controversial opinion, maybe. I don't know. I'm picking RVD. I mean, he's Mr. ECW. Didn't he have a moniker? Was he Mr. Thursday Night or Mr. something? I don't know. Whatever. My bad. Ah, Dolph Ziggler against Brock Lesnar. I like Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's fun. Dolph Ziggler was during the era that I was kind of in and out of wrestling. Um, I like Dolph Ziggler. I like what I've seen. Again, character work is fun. This guy sells like no one else. But Brock Lesnar is Brock Lesnar. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. You guys know I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar, but I'm picking Brock Lesnar on this just because he's still such a big deal, right? When he shows up on TV like he has during this whole build up for Survivor Series War Games, like he elevates the program. So yeah, as much as I don't like Brock Lesnar, you guys know why. I'm gonna pick Brock Lesnar for this. Ooh, I like Vader. I like Vader. It's time. It's time. It's Vader time. I like Vader. This is when I started to get into wrestling. Was kind of during that. What was it called? The new era. Was that what it called? Right before the Attitude Era. I think it was called the new era. Um, I like I like Vader a lot. I liked seeing Vader. I think Vader is one of those big men that is still used as a blueprint for big men, right? Like this dude could go. He in Japan, this dude was amazing, right? If you haven't gone back to see some of Vader's work in Japan, go back and do so. Such a fun watch. Like Vader was just such a fun watch, especially back then for a big guy to do some of the stuff that he does. Vader's top notch. Uh, Big Attitude Era guy, Hardy Boys, right? The Hardy, who didn't? Who didn't? Right? Who didn't try to swanton onto their bed as a kid during the Attitude Era? I know I did. I know I did. And that's why I'm going with Jeff Hardy. Sorry. I'm going with Jeff Hardy. Sorry, Vader. Ooh, Kevin Owens versus Kane. Um, this is actually easy for me. I don't know why I oohed. Kane, in terms of character work, is so fun, super cool. His whole reveal when he came into the scene as Undertaker's brother, that whole thing was fun. JR's, it's gotta be Kane. That's gotta be Kane. Unmatched, right? Like that's one of those like wrestling calls that we all know. If you were alive at the time, you know that it's gotta be Kane. That being said, Kevin Owens, man. Kevin Owens is just such a great superstar, man. Like talk about like charisma, talk about ring work, talk about character work. This guy's good as a face, he's good as a heel. Kevin Owens takes it for me. Sure. Booker T against Roddy Piper. This is hard too. I like Booker, right? Five-time WCW champion. Roddy Piper was again one of those dudes who really got me into wrestling. I remember his match against Goldust. Um, what an interesting match that was. I think both of these guys are very important in the world of wrestling. I love Roddy Piper, but I gotta say, I'm going with Booker on this one. I just like Booker T. His character work is awesome. Also, part of one of the greatest tag teams of all time, right? Harlem Heat, one of the greatest WCW tag teams of all time. So going with Booker T. All right, I've been trying to figure it out. There's no way of me jumping to the other side of the bracket, which you guys can all clearly see here. So I guess we're finishing this side of the bracket first. We got Terry Funk against The Undertaker. Hard matchup because these two guys are very important in their own way. I think just because I've seen him a lot more and he's been more important to me in terms of my wrestling viewing, I'm going to go with The Undertaker. Ooh, RVD against Kofi Kingston. Both of these guys are really good in ring, right? Both of these guys have very similar styles in terms of like their high flying stuff. RVD, I do love RVD. 5-star frog splash, whew, unbeaten, just amazing. Kofi Kingston, Kofi Kingston, I feel like is hugely important for, especially for tag team wrestling, right? Really great. He had that championship push. Oh, this is really hard, but I think I'm gonna go with RVD. I'm going with RVD on this one. Brock Lesnar versus Jeff Hardy. Now, am I picking who I prefer, or am I picking who I think the greatest of all time is? I think I'm going based on who I prefer, right? And based on who I prefer, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy takes that one. Booker T against Kevin Owens. Fun matchup. Both of these guys are really cool. I think Kevin Owens has already reached the levels of Booker T, and his career is not over. Hopefully he returns from injury. That's why I'm going with Kevin Owens. RVD against The Undertaker. We're going Undertaker on this one. Kevin Owens against Jeff Hardy. We're going Kevin Owens on this one. Right? I just think he has a lot more left to give, and he's already reached that, again, that Jeff Hardy ceiling. Kevin Owens against The Undertaker. Now, this is based on who I prefer, right? There's no denying that The Undertaker is extremely important, especially in the world of WWE. However, in terms of wrestling, I prefer Kevin Owens, so I'm going with Kevin Owens on this one. Maybe that's a controversial opinion, right? Hot take. All right, moving on to the other side of the bracket now. Spoiler alert, I couldn't figure it out. So whoever wins this side of the bracket goes up against Kevin Owens. So who's going to face off against Kevin Owens as Danny's greatest of all time? I think I know who it's going to be, but you'll find out. Sheamus against Kevin Owens. Sheamus, I think, again, is going to be one of those guys who, when he retires, we're going to be like, we didn't give this guy enough credit when he was here, right? Like we didn't appreciate him enough when he was here. Kevin Owens, Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, right? Literally, the formation of the NWO is what made wrestling what it is today. Without Kevin Owens, I think even more so than Hulk Hogan, I'm going to say it, even more so than Hulk Hogan. Without Kevin Owens jumping ship and going to WCW, wrestling would not be what it is today. And as much as I do love Sheamus, I'm going with Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, Kevin Nash on this one. All right, Ron Simmons against the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Ron Simmons, later Farouk, right, head of the Nation of Domination. Without Farouk, without the Nation of Domination, The Rock would not be The Rock. So definitely a big formative part of wrestling. Ron Simmons being the first black world champion in a major promotion, in a major wrestling promotion. Super important to wrestling. I want to give him his credit before I go on and choose Randy Savage, just because the Macho Man is so important to me, right? The Macho Man, who doesn't do? Oh yeah, who didn't like Slim Jims because of Macho Man, right? Who didn't do the Macho Man voice? I was having a conversation with a coworker a couple days ago where we talked about the greatest, the greatest romance of all time, the greatest love story of all time, being Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. And tell me where the lie is. Tell me the lie. Show me the lie. So I'm going with Macho Man on this one. Sorry, Farouk. Sorry, Ron Simmons. Love you, but Macho is it. Oof, Rey Mysterio against Scott Hall. I loved Razor Ramon growing up as a kid. I walked around with a toothpick, right? Hey, something happens to the gold, something happens to you. I loved Razor Ramon growing up. So I have an affinity, a love for Scott Hall. Rey Mysterio's it for me, though, man. I love Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio being, a Chicano wrestler, a Mexican wrestler, to really, do it big, to really do it right, to really, you know, come onto WWE with his Mexican pride, like not backing down from anyone, being this small dude, right? Showing that like Mexican spirit, that Mexican fighter spirit. So I have to go. I have to go with my guy Rey Mysterio on this one. Also, he gave birth to Dominic Mysterio. Well, he didn't give birth, but he's Dominic Mysterio's dad, and that alone gives him the win. Dominic's the goat. If he's on this, I'm choosing Dominic. Kurt Angle against Big E. I love Big E. Right, Big E, big beefy man, snapping meat. Love Big E as a wrestler. Again, one of the greatest tag team factions of all time, being the New Day. Love Big E, but Kurt Angle is just that guy. What an amazing performer! What an amazing in-ring worker Kurt Angle was. 0 5-star matches, which is why you guys shouldn't really care about Dave Meltzer's ratings, but Kurt Angle wins this hands down. Oh crap! I accidentally hit Big E. I'm gonna fix that though. All right, I was able to fix it. I moved on Kurt Angle to the next round. My bad. Ooh, Andre the Giant versus Eddie Guerrero. Andre, of course, is super important to wrestling, right? There's so much lore around Andre the Giant. Um, Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant is one of the most important moments in wrestling history. Um, Eddie Guerrero's just him for me, though, man. Latino heat, right? Um, the real LWO, the WCW LWO, like Rey Mysterio, just did it for me, man. Like that promo he had against Brock Lesnar before he won the championship, man. Like again, that's when I was in and out of wrestling, but that gave me chills then. It gives me chills now. Gone too early. Both of these guys, honestly, gone too early. Um, I'm gonna go with Eddie Guerrero. Just I saw more of him, and I mean Latino heat, man. You can't that whole like storyline he had with China, which was the exact storyline that Dominic Mysterio had with Rhea Ripley. Gotta give it to Eddie. Man, can you imagine the matches this guy would have if he were still around? A match against Dominic would be amazing. Big Papa Puff. Big Papa Pump? That's Big Papa Pump. Rick Steiner versus Seth Rollins. You guys have heard my absolute love and admiration for Seth Rollins. That hasn't changed. Uh, I said Rick Steiner. Scott Steiner. Um, he wasn't it. I'm sorry. Um, I think we have a lot of rose-colored glasses when looking back at his career, but he wasn't it. We're definitely going to give it to Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is just amazing character work, amazing in ring, amazing promos. What a guy. Batista against AJ Styles. I love Batista. Again, a lot of in and out of wrestling during that time. Really fun to watch. AJ Styles is just that guy, though, man. AJ Styles, formidable guy in TNA. TNA's Mount Rushmore definitely has AJ Styles in it. Retiring this year, I hope we put the belt on him one last time. We're going AJ Styles. Okay, really? We're going with this now? The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Man. The Rock, the final boss. The Rock, there's no denying that The Rock is super important in the world of wrestling. I mean, both of these guys are super important in the world of wrestling. Um, the Rock made wrestling mainstream. One of the best heels wrestling has seen. Like The Rock as a heel is just heads and shoulders above everyone. The Texas Rattlesnake, though, Stone Cold Steve Austin, for me, growing up, that was my guy, right? Someone who defied authority, who was always trying to beat up his boss. He drank beer, he flipped people off, right? As a little rebellious little guy, Stone Cold was it for me, man. I mean, big attitude era guy here. So if these guys were on separate sides of the bracket, this would honestly be the final for me. Um, I'm going Stone Cold. Stone Cold Steve Austin's just it for me. That was a hard one. That was a hard one. Macho Man against Kevin Nash for all the reasons I've said. I'm going Macho. I'm going Macho at this point. Listen, I know that this video is going a little long, so I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit. Going Macho. Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio. I love both of these guys so much. And I think that in ring, Kurt Angle is phenomenal and no one can match him. I do love Kurt Angle, but this is a preference bracket. And I just love Rey Mysterio too much, so I'm going Rey. Eddie Guerrero against Seth Rollins. Oh, that Eddie. Oh, that Eddie. I love Eddie Guerrero. He is a very important wrestler for me. Um, However, you can't deny how great Seth Rollins is and how important he is to current day wrestling. We're going Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, Eddie. I love you, Eddie. You're in my Mount Rushmore. I don't know what this bracket has become. You're in my Mount Rushmore, but we're going Seth Rollins on this one. Stone Cold Steve Austin against AJ Styles. Like, I love AJ Styles as a wrestler. A little weird as a flat Earth guy, but Stone Cold's just Stone Cold for me. Stone Cold's just it. Macho Man against Rey Mysterio. Love both of these guys. I've seen more of Rey than Macho, and I love Rey. Being a Chicano myself, love Rey. So get it, Rey Mysterio. Stone Cold Steve Austin against Seth Rollins. Man, both of these guys in their prime would have put on a hell of a match, right? If Seth Rollins today were to go up against 1996 Stone Cold Steve Austin, what a match. What a match. What a program that would be. We're going Stone Cold, though. I love Stone Cold. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I love Rey Mysterio. Very important person to me personally, as a Chicano, as someone who loves wrestling. Watching this masked luchador bring Mexican wrestling culture to the mainstream in WWE. Love it. But Stone Cold just did it for me. Like, Stone Cold is the reason I love wrestling to this day. I think you guys see where this video's going, where this bracket's going. Stone Cold did it for me. My favorite wrestler of all time. I'm just gonna throw it out there already. Um, is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So we're going Stone Cold. And then, to no one's surprise, Kevin Owens against Stone Cold Steve Austin. These guys had a match. They had a little match at WrestleMania a few years back, right? Kind of an impromptu match. I love Kevin Owens. I really, really do. It's really unfair that this is the final because, as I've projected, as I've mentioned, as I've talked about for the last however many minutes this video is, Stone Cold's my guy. So Stone Cold Steve Austin is my GOAT, my greatest wrestler of all time. Stone Cold. So there you have it. There's my bracket. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin as my greatest of all time. Something fun, something different, something for you guys to enjoy during your Thanksgiving weekend, during your Thanksgiving day. Something a little different, just because I didn't feel like talking about Survivor Series War Games anymore. So, anyway, since you made it this far, though, drop a like. Let me know in the comments where you think I went wrong. I think there's a few controversial opinions that a lot of you would probably disagree with. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Watch one of these videos, right? I post a lot of videos, so check them out. Subscribe, like this video, do all the things. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your turkey. Bye.